Bradley, am I still on a 240 out, or do I get a little extra space?
He's asking if there's a 240 out. What do we got?
Oh, his time?
Yeah. We can't give him 8 minutes. Like,
No.
this is what happens.
Just
This is what happens.
I'm just trying to
when people take too much time and they're not respectful of the other people. I literally had to wrap up the last interview. I gotta thank you so much for taking the time today. And it's like, and this woman's just like, I gotta tell you, I've been to all your shows, and I'm like, thank you so much, thank you. And I hope to see it, somewhere down the road. I'm just like, fuck, I gotta like we gotta wrap it up.
But I mean, Chad, this is what happens when you're Chad from Nickelback. Everybody wants to talk to you and talk to you for longer than, listen, I was supposed to have 20 minutes with you. I could probably talk to you for an hour and get away with it. You know what I mean?
We could probably have a wonderful convo.
We could. I got to tell you something that was not a planned question, but dude, has anyone told you have a striking resemblance to Chris Evans, aka Captain America from the Marvel franchise? Because you do.
I've seen the probably not with this color, but when it's all like when my hair is super dark, yes, with the the beard and I think I was wearing what was I wearing? Not a trench coat. It was like a trench coat, and then somebody sent me a side by side of us, and I was like, that poor son of a bitch is getting compared to me. Feel bad for him. Feel bad.
Listen, that's not a bad thing, man. He was what people's sexiest man alive, and I'm sorry that was super random because it just occurred to me. I'm like, am I talking to?
I feel bad for him though. I feel bad for Chris. Like, Jesus, poor man.
That's awesome, dude. How are you? I mean, I know you're super busy doing the radio thing, but how are you?
Good.
That's
Things
awesome.
Are good. Yeah, we got the new record. I mean,
and it's awesome.
Thank you. And everybody wants to talk to us, which is nice. And speaking to countries I haven't talked to in 2 album cycles, it's like, oh, something's happening here.
Right. And
good.
Before I forget, congrats, man. Canadian Music Hall of Fame, Nickelback going to be in there. I think it's March of 23. Congrats to you and your bandmates.
Thank you.
That's got to be a pretty awesome moment given, look, you've said it in countless interviews about, you're expecting all the hate. You welcome that, the memes and all that. It has to be a nice validation though, right? To be inducted.
Honestly, I feel very undeserved. It's weird. I feel like we haven't been in the game long enough yet to get, that sort of award. I feel like, we should all be 60 by the time that rolls around, but it's wild. Cause I just feel like I've been running the longest con ever, 25 years, and we just put out our 10th record.
Yeah.
And I just feel like a used car salesman. I'm just like, I'm pulling bunnies out of hats. I'm just like, look over here, look over there.
But whatever you're doing, Chad, it works. I mean, Get Rolling. It came out last week. It's got some great tunes on it. I mean, you started out with San Quentin, which, let's be honest, it's a banger. It's a great song. But can I just tell you, I think, favorite song might be Vegas Bomb.
Wow. That's
and
a first. I haven't heard that one.
Let me tell you, part of that is because the first time I listened to it, I thought, man, this has got a very bluesy, greasy, borderline sleazy groove to it, and it was cool.
Awesome, thank you.
Is that a fair assessment?
Do you know what a Vegas Bomb? Absolutely.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't.
So you know what a Jaeger bomb is?
Yes.
Okay, well, a Vegas Bomb, just look it up. They're delicious. I think they're better.
Okay.
But so I came up with the whole. Well, I didn't come up with it, but my buddies were all like, "Dude, like my bartender friends, they were all saying like, yeah, like everyone's been doing Jaeger bombs for fucking ever, but like if you try a Vegas Bomb, he's like, we are selling a shit ton of those, like so many of those, and it's kind of like this up and coming sort of thing." And I went, that's kind of neat. I've never really been ahead of the curve.
Yeah, there you go.
So away we went with Vegas Bomb, and I just wanted to make it like that thing where you and all the buddies go down to Vegas and try not to wind up in silver bracelets. That's all it is. It's just a party tune, and it's got that big thunderous
Yeah.
It's a greasy riff. It's just,
yeah. It's good, man. That's right now, after listening to the record, that is probably my current favorite song. I mean, I know we here are playing San Quentin like crazy, but that is a great song, and I'm digging it. And, it's funny because, the new album was your first since, I think, 2017. So we're talking 5 years now. It's got a lot of diversity on it. You hear a little bit, you hear the straight ahead rock, you hear the ballad, you hear a little bit of the blues, like I said there, maybe even a little country. Is that fair to say? I mean, you're kind of mixing it up a little bit more, it seems like.
We are definitely dipping the toe into other genres for sure. Yeah, like with High Time, that's like a 70s sort of country rock tune.
Yeah.
That I picture like that yellow van behind you on your screen there with the twin axle.
Yeah, right.
Just going from like festival to festival and just picking up hitchhikers and it's just got such a Cheech and Chong movie in my head for me. And the first line of the chorus is, well, it's high time you and I got rolling, which is, like a triple entendre. I said right away, I'm like, you guys, we got to get we got to start selling rolling papers that just say "Get Rolling" on it. And it's got the logo and the whole.
That's the ultimate marketing. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you just like,
Chad? When you get those ideas in your head, like your bartender friend talking to you about the Vegas bomb or the Get Rolling or whatever, do you instantly just start thinking and start writing stuff down, whether you're in album mode or not? Because I mean, you write a lot, right?
Yeah. I mean. Sometimes I'll just jot a little idea down. I'll grab the phone, just like everybody else does. You just grab the phone, go to my, I've got sort of like a lyric vault, and I've also got my voice note vault in my phone. And I'll just start, putting down some stuff. And sometimes when I really get moving on something, the trick is you got to be able to see when lightning is striking. Because if you just write down the title and go, oh, I really enjoy that, I'm going to work on that later. And you come up with 3 more ideas, and you're like, I'll get back to it. And you don't capitalize on it. You'll go back to it, and it won't have the same, when you get the butterflies, the ice ball, in the stomach, and you're like, oh, I'm enjoying the hell out of what's going on here. I really want to I want to extrapolate. I want to, unpack this as much as I can. And that's a trick that it's not even a trick. It's just advice that Mutt Lang gave us when we worked on Dark Horse together. He's like, dude, when the tap is open, keep the tap flowing, because a time will come, trust me, where you're going to try and turn the tap on and nothing's going to come out of there. And you're going to wish that you had really unpacked more of these ideas while you're in the, in the moment.
When you're working on these ideas, I mean, it's no secret that you've written for a lot of other artists in your career. Do you sit down and at some point realize, hey, this is a Nickelback song, or hey, this is not a Nickelback song, maybe this is a whoever else song?
I mean, if it's really, really genre specific, then I'll know that it's probably going to go someplace else. I mean, I brought in Hero to the guys, and I, played him the song and was just like, what do you think? And our guitar player Ryan was like, I think it's a great song. I just don't think it's a Nickelback tune. And I was like, okay, well, it's going in the vault, and I will pull it out, as soon as I need it. And then they came to me and said, hey, will you do something for Spider-Man? I'm like, yeah, will I?
Of course I will.
Right here. There you go. And
right. So that works out, right? With Mutt's advice there, you had it right there when you needed it.
That's you can't catch a fish when if you don't have a line in the water.
Yeah.
So I like to I'll watch TV with a guitar. I've got 3 guitars sitting in my living room, and I'll just turn on a little TV and I'll just start noodling away and just not even paying attention to what I'm doing. And all of a sudden I'll just sort of stumble onto something and go, oh, that's kind of neat. Wait, what is that? What is this? What's this little thing going on right here? And then the TV gets muted, and then
you start working. And then it gets serious.
I grab the phone and go, where are we going here? What, I can't wait to see what this painting is going to look like.
So with the new album, Get Rolling, I mentioned it was like the first one in the last 5 years. At what point did you sit down and say, hey, we probably should start working on an album? Or did you just get to the point of you just had so many songs, it's like, let's get this done already? Why the big space in between?
Well, we were we were just sort of sitting there in limbo like everyone else. We just kept postponing this tour because we were supposed to go do the 15-year anniversary of All the Right Reasons, and we had this massive production all set up, and we're going to play the record from start to finish, and then at the end of the show play the rest of the tunes, and then all of a sudden, like the giant pause button got hit on the entire planet, and we just sat around going, and like it got so far in, like we were like a year and a half in to lockdown, and other people were on like their second pandemic record, and I'm like, we should do something. Like we should probably get together or
get some work done.
Get some work done. Try and turn a negative into a positive. We should probably start tossing around some ideas. So yeah.
But and what is that process like, Chad? Does it come together quick? I mean, obviously the songs are really awesome. You've got a couple of really, really good standout songs on there. Does that process take a while when you get together with the band to put it all together and flesh it all out and get it on the record?
Well, it kind of depends. I try to bring a decent, like I'll try and bring, here's the chorus, and here's sort of our verses, and this is sort of our descriptive area, and this is what we're going to be talking about thematically, and I'll bring it to them. But like it'll be just really rough, just to see, is this something that you think is worth pursuing? Is this something that you think would sound good on this record? Does this interest you? And we go from there, and sometimes it's a yes, and sometimes it's a maybe, and that just sort of gets moved over, and then start working on something else. But the one thing we don't really do though is we're not the kind of band that gets together and records start to finish 22 songs and then cuts it down to 10, 11, 12, whatever it is. We really don't do that. I find that to just be such a waste of time. If you don't know what the song's going to sound like by the verse and chorus, it's like it's not going to get profoundly better by the time you like record it. It's still going to just be a mediocre song that you could have just left sitting there. And moved on to something that that you found was far more moving, more impactful.
So again, the new album, Get Rolling, it's out now. You can, however you decide to listen to it on the radio, stream it, whatever, buy it, of course, because it is a great record. I'm curious though about another record. How did you end up on a Steel Panther record? And I ask that because those guys are hilarious, fantastic musicians, and I've seen them live, and they're awesome. But it's like you guessed it on a song with Zakk Wylde, and then you're on with Steel Panther too. How does that happen?
Well, you just meet these guys. Like you go to show. Tommy Lee took me to my first Steel Panther show, and we were at the Key Club. I think they're still playing the Key Club in LA. And he goes, just so you know, if they see you, they're gonna just start hammering you to get up on stage because they want to get as many people up there and typically embarrass the shit out of them. So we go, and I'm trying to stay back behind. I'm trying to stay down. I'm trying to I'm bobbing and weaving. I'm trying to stay behind Tommy, and right away they spot me, and the guitar player, Satchel, as everyone refers to him. He sees me and he's like, "Is that Chaz? Is that Chaz?" He just starts calling me Chaz right off the bat, and it's hilarious. The place is, it's like, "Is that Chaz from Puddle of Mud?" And he just starts coming at me, and it's hilarious. And they're like, "Get up here." I'm like, "No, I'm good." And they're like, "We knew you were a pussy. Get up here." And they just won't stop. Like the show just stops, and they're just like, "We're not going to play anymore until you get up here." So I got up and grabbed the mic, and I said, "Let's do something old. Let's do something old and cool. Like let's do because no matter how drunk I am, I can still remember the words to Born on the Bayou by CCR. Yeah. He's like, "What key do you want to do it?" I'm like, do it in E. Just put it right in E. Let's go all the way up there. And it's high. Yeah. And we start screaming away, and we get like first chorus is done, and we go back into the and he looks over at me and he yells in my ear, he goes, "Swear to God, dude, I thought you were gonna suck." I laughed so hard I could barely get into the next line. Like I'm up there cry laughing, and we just all became fast friends. Like after that, that's great. Like, I loved those guys, and then they'd come up to Vancouver and play, and I'd go see them. And then they just kept saying, "Let's get in the room. Like, we want to get in the room with you. Let's get in the room and do a tune together." And so we get in a room, and for anybody who's listening, it's not familiar with Steel Panther's music. It is so over the top. It's
ridiculous, but it's
ridiculous.
Good too.
It's great. Like, these guys are shredders that got together to just sort of like, for their love of like 80s metal, 80s hair metal kind of thing.
Yes.
And so I came up with this line. I said, what if we called it It Won't Suck Itself? And they all were just like, that's it. But we're going with that. And I was like, okay. It's just like the dumbest thing you can come up with. And they're like, they just pounced on it.
Yes, that's awesome. I think the ultimate callback there, Chad, would be to get them or like Satchel to guest on a Nickelback record down the road after Get Rollin' runs through.
I should.
Just lay a solo down somewhere.
He's so insanely good.
Yeah, I know.
I know. Crazy talented. When I was just sort of describing what I kind of wanted the riff to sound like, he just started kind of playing something really close. I'm like, I want it to be really notey. And he just started flying into this riff. And I'm like, he must have played 4 different riffs that were all amazing.
Yeah.
I'm like, can you let's combine like 1 and 3 and see and start working from there. And then let's lay that down and away we go. And then it was all like, you go to the zoo and you find yourself in a cage and you get bit by a snake, and and then you got to get someone to suck the poison out because it won't suck itself. And so
of course,
that's the bit, right?
That's awesome.
You don't want to just you don't want to come right out and say it, but
you got to work around it.
About being down in Panama, and absolutely, get bit by a scorpion or some damn thing, and there's somebody backstage. It's like, you got to help me, because it's just not going to suck itself. And so we went with the poison angle, and it's dumb, it's hilarious, but those guys are absolutely fantastic.
That's awesome. So getting back to Nickelback, of course, and Get Rollin', you guys are obviously going to, tour behind the record. How are you going to handle that, since you didn't get to do the anniversary of all the, the right reasons? Are you going to work some of that stuff in together with the new record? Have you thought about that? Can you even say, or is it a surprise for when you guys finally hit the road kind of thing?
Well, I mean, no matter what, like every show, we probably play at least 4 tunes off of All the Right Reasons. I mean, there was just a lot of singles, and there's a lot of songs on there that people want to sing along to. Animals, Photograph, Far Away, Rockstar. Occasionally we'll go into If Everyone Cared, but there's 4 that we pretty much have to play every night. We got to get through 4. Like, it's that stuff. It's like, it'd be weird if we got to close to the end of the show and we didn't play How You Remind Me. Everyone just be like, dude.
Yeah. Have you forgot something here?
Yeah. You know how much I paid for these tickets? I had to get a babysitter, and I had to pay for parking, and I do all this crap, and I come down here and you don't even sing, the big, huge sing-along song. And we worry about that stuff. We want everybody singing along, but we want to throw in a little bit of the new stuff. And that's why it's great to be able to talk to you and find out that, that you guys are banging the hell out of San Quentin, and it's nice to be able to get up there and say, okay, hey, we're going to play a new one. And everyone just doesn't flood up see them just heading up to the concourse. Like, okay, you get beer, you hit the merch booth. I'll see you guys back here in 5.5 minutes, and they're going to be done this crappy new tune, and then we can start singing along again.
Well, I think that's a testament, though, too, Chad, to the fact that you guys write good songs and that people get into them. I mean, San Quentin, like I said, it's a banger. I don't think people are going to be leaving the stadium when you guys start playing that. But it's also cool that you recognize and take that, to heart and to consideration that, people have spent a fair amount of money, especially these days when you see some of the ticket prices, they had it like me. Look, I've got kids too. So when I come to see Nickelback or whatever band I'm going to see, I probably had to get a babysitter, and I want to stay as long as possible to hear every single song. And if it's Vegas Bomb, I hope you're going to play it. Or if it's Animals, which happens to be one of my favorite songs, I hope the hell you're going to play it,
Yeah. No, I hear you. See, I've never forgotten what it's like to be just the average concert goer.
Yeah.
I never lose sight of that whole, like, and I like to stack the bill too. I like to get like tons of bands on there. And so the entire night is, you get people in the building right off the bat, and they're singing to the first band might get 35 minutes, but 2 of those 35 minutes, 2 of those songs are singles, and you get to sing along to them. The next band gets up and they might get 45 or whatever it is. And I don't mind like a 4-band bill, because I want people coming in there and I want people just enjoying the hell out of the entire show. I really do.
Yeah, and I think that's another reason why that, going to a Nickelback show, is so awesome, because you take that time and, fans end up leaving with that great experience and that great connection with you guys. And, that's why your tours do so well. I feel like I'm getting dangerously close to being that jock that we were ripping on at the beginning for going so far over. Do you have another one after me? Because I probably have to let you go.
Yeah, no, I'm
all right.
I'm booked up for the next.
Yeah.
I think I got another 6.
Well, I'm dangerously over my time. And as much as that's an awkward transition, I don't want to be that person that we ripped on in the beginning. I hope, Chad, that when you guys eventually are, here in my area, we can get a couple of, minutes to chat and hang and talk some more, because I could literally talk to you for another hour and a half and enjoy the conversation.
I would love that. Start a podcast, dude. I'll be the first one that comes on.
All right. I'm going to hold you to that, my man. Thank you. Congrats on the record and the Hall nomination. We'll keep banging the hell out of San Quentin until you release Vegas Bomb. Deal?
Yes,
right.
Deal.
All right. Have a great rest of your day. Enjoy those interviews, my man.
Thanks, buddy.
All right. Take care.